Hello, this is Martial Law News, and today I'd like to talk to you about Fema trains. Now, most of us here know about Fema trains. We know that this is old news. And people in the comments, they often say that you should not talk about old news. They say that you should talk about new news, and they say that this is an old video. And the truth is, we need to alert the population to threats. Now, are Fema trains a new thing? The answer is no, they're not a new thing. However, there is new information which I feel like you, the viewer, can benefit from. Now, on your screen you should see a picture of a Fema train. I want you to look at this picture and think about how many people they could squash into this train. Now, when martial law is declared, the chances are the roads will be shut down, people will not be able to travel. So instead, they will be using these trains to travel people to Fema camps. Now, what is more disturbing is that we have pictures of these Fema camps. We have Google image pictures of them zoomed in and all these tent cities. However, recently, over the past few months, there has been new heavy construction on these suspected Fema camp locations. This construction is rail lines. They are building rail lines and they are connecting them all up together at a central location for easy transport. Now, when I was first told about the Fema trains, I thought it was BS. I thought that they weren't true, that it was a misinformation tactic by the New World Order, by the government, to try and make us look like crazy conspiracy theorists. However, I have been researching it. I see, unlike most people, I have actually been researching this information. I have not been taking anything at face value, and what I have found suggests that I may have been completely wrong. Now, while I may not believe the pictures of these Fema trains, I do however believe the pictures of heavy construction going on near suspected Fema camp locations. Now, this heavy construction, they are building lines. Now, these lines can fit trains. It therefore makes sense that they will either be used for supplies, they'll either be used for the Fema camps to get new supplies in, or they'll be used to transport people to these locations. It is either one or the other, or maybe even both. See, in a martial law scenario, the chances are trains will be a very efficient way of traveling the country, because the roads, well, there'll be sporadic fighting on these roads. The patriots will be protecting their country. The fascist government will be trying to take it over. The UN troops will be trying to mediate with a peace, trying to protect the government. Which means that the roads will not be safe to transport supplies, for the government at least, or people. Therefore, it makes sense that they should use these heavily armoured trains, so that small arms fire can't puncture them. High-speed trains to travel people and supplies to Fema camps. Now, my team has been conducting research, and the research shows that in past countries, if we look back in time, trains were used and they were used very effectively. Now, every smart person knows that when people do something, they always look at the past and try and improve upon it. And maybe this is what is happening right now. Maybe the government knows that they can't use the roads during martial law because the patriots were trying to fight and take back their country, but instead they'll be using a train system, which means that they can easily transport supplies around. Now, you, the viewer, I want you to do me a favour. I want you to do the American people a favour, and I want you to investigate these train systems. Now, my team, we are getting hundreds of stories of all different topics every single day, and I'm being contacted by people in the media who are afraid to publish information because they fear for their jobs. Now, these people in the mainstream media, they cannot publish these stories. They have been told by their supervisors that they cannot publish these stories or they will be fired. Now, could they publish these stories? Of course they could. However, they believe that they'll be more valuable as an insider, as an inside spy in the mainstream media, than as a fired person who is looking for a job. And frankly, I believe them. I think they would be better acting as a spy for us, the patriots, once martial law is declared. The media people, they will have information which forgive me, they will have information which they can then share with the rest of us if martial law is declared and when martial law is declared. And see, like, they are being told to cover this up. And that is very scary because it means that people high up in the mainstream media, they're working with the government here. They are working on this conspiracy. Now, why would they do that? Well, they're doing it as a favor. Maybe they're being blackmailed, or maybe they want to gain something from it. Maybe they want to gain the power, the money that they will get if a martial law scenario does take place. Because believe me, the government will reward people who stick by them once they become a new dictator. Anyway, my request from you to you, the viewer, is that look around, look at this new construction, go to Google Maps, talk to your friends, your families, talk to people who work on these train lines, and ask them if there's been any suspicious construction that has been going on recently, and report back. Because the only way we can win this fast and not have a long drawn out battle is if we share information together. We share truthful information together, and we then use this information to protect our country. Now, before I leave you today, I'd like to talk about a thing that happened to me. When I was driving to college, I saw a train system being built. Now, I went to the person and I asked them if I could have some information about this train system as a college research project, quotation marks. And they told me that they did not know anything about this construction. They were not being told anything about this construction, which to me is very suspicious, because if they work on this train line, the chances are they should know about this stuff because they are working there every day, and yet they're being kept in the dark. Now, I'm sure it is like this all across the country, which means you have to do something because you are part of the resistance, and no one else can save this country but you and the people you connect with and the people who you connect with every day online or in the real world. Thank you. This is Martial Law News.